Addod Solutions. Add-on desired.
Hello viewers, welcome to Addod Solution Daily Current Affairs. I am Lokesh Pengonda. In this session, we will cover relevant news articles from both The Hindu and the Indian Express, and also we will see some practice MCQs. Our first article is talking about a report published yesterday. This report is published by Oxfam. What is Oxfam? Oxfam is an international organization mainly working to eliminate poverty in the world. So, the major objective is to eliminate poverty in the world. And yesterday, it has released a report titled as Inequality Report 2021. Inequality Report 2021. And this report has highlighted India's medical healthcare infrastructure problems. And according to this report, there are just 5 hospital beds for every 10,000 individuals in the country on average. So, if you consider India's population to be 100 crores, then there are just 5 lakh hospital beds that are available. So, if a significant population of the country has to get admitted in the hospitals due to some problem, then it may not be possible because of the lack of hospital beds in the country. And the second important point the report has highlighted is that 17% of the hospital expenditure is coming through borrowing. It is coming through borrowing. That is, it has stated that if you want to spend 6 rupees on hospital expenditure, rupees 1 is generally borrowed by these individuals. So, if a person wants to pay 60,000 as hospital expenditure, then this person on average borrows 10,000 rupees. That is, out of 6 rupees we have to borrow 1 rupee on average. So you can understand how this is pushing people into the debt trap. And also the report has stated that there is just 1 hospital for every 90,000. This is talking about the government hospitals. So there is just 1 government hospital for every 90,000 people in the country. So a poor person might not be having enough money to go to private hospital, and he might not be able to get the relevant services from government hospitals as well because of lack of the state and the union government run hospitals. And this report is asking the state and the union government to increase the infrastructure and healthcare spending in the country so that it can be helpful to the people when the third COVID wave comes. So you can understand that these are the problems we are facing. So the government have to increase its spending to overcome these challenges we are currently facing. The next article is talking about a detention or a prison center named as Guantanamo Bay. So the detention center is named as Guantanamo Bay Prison or Detention Center. So where is this detention center? It is in Cuba. It is in Cuba. In the image you can see how there is a city called as Guantanamo and how there is a US base named as Guantanamo Navy US base. So we know that US is very near to Cuba and there is a US running base in the Cuba, and within this base there is a detention center or a prison center where the United States generally detains individuals. So why is United States keeping its prisoners in the Cuba? The reason is it does not want to provide relevant fundamental rights to these prisoners. Let's say an individual is arrested and sent to a prison in the United States. Then this person should be given some fundamental rights, But if a same person is arrested by US authorities but sent to this Guantanamo Bay prison, then he would not be given most of these rights. So why So why is US sending people to this prison? US has stated that it will send only people who are considered very dangerous. So it will send dangerous criminals accused of human rights violations and war crimes to this Guantanamo Bay detention center. It was established way back in the year 2002, and now US government wants to close down this prison or detention center because human rights activists have been alleging that there are numerous human rights violations in this prison, and as a result many court cases are pending in the US. Our next article is talking about a project titled as Project 75I. So it is termed as Project 75I or Project 75 India. So what is this Project 75I? Indian Navy has brought out this Project 75I. The objective is to promote indigenous construction of submarines and other naval vessels. So why did the United States or why did the Navy or the Defense Establishment of India come up with this Project 75I? We know that India is lagging very badly when it comes to construction of nuclear and other submarines. Until just a few years ago, the submarines which we are using have to be either purchased or have to be either taken on rent from Russia or from some other Western countries. To promote indigenous or local construction capabilities when it comes to naval vessels, this Project 75I was launched by the Defense Ministry and the Navy, and it is stated that six conventional submarines will be constructed in India under this Project 75I now. Our next article is talking about the UDAN scheme. So what is this UDAN scheme? In the year 2016, the Ministry of Civil Aviation has come up with this scheme. It is the Ministry of Civil Aviation. What is the objective of the scheme? The objective is to promote affordable air travel in the country. So the first objective is to promote affordable air travel. The second objective is to promote the civil aviation industry. Now we'll see what UDAN means. UDAN is a shortcut for Ude Desh Ka Aam Nagarik. In English, it can be translated as the common man will also fly. So from the name itself, you can understand how this is a scheme mainly to promote affordable air travel. Now we'll see how this UDAN scheme mainly works. The government, that is the state government and the central government, will provide some financial benefits, to the civil aviation sector in the country, so that the air travel become more affordable. We'll understand this with an example. Let's consider that this is 2015, and if you want to travel from Delhi to Hyderabad, the flight ticket may be rupees 6,000. As 6,000 is not a small amount, let's assume that just 30 people might have purchased this air ticket, whereas rest of the people who want to come from Delhi to Hyderabad are coming through other means. So the ticket price is 6,000 and just 30 people have purchased this ticket in the year 2015. And now assume that this is 2021. In this year, the ticket price is reduced from 6,000 to 4,000. So why is the ticket price reduced? The ticket price is reduced from 6,000 to 4,000 in this case, then the total reduction is 2,000. this money will be paid by the state or the union government, whereas the rest 4,000 would have to be paid by the passenger. So you can understand that the total price of the ticket has been effectively reduced from 6,000 to the 4,000 to the common man. As 4,000 is more affordable than 6,000, let's assume that 50 individuals have purchased a ticket. So you can understand, in the first example there is 6,000 ticket and only 30 people have taken up the flight. So the total revenue the civil aviation industry would get is 6,000 into 30, that is 1.8 lakhs. Whereas in this example it will be 6,000 into 50, because even though the passenger is paying 4,000, the rest 2,000 would be paid by the state or the union government. So it will be 6,000 into 50, that is 3 lakh rupees. So you can understand from this example how the government providing financial benefits to the industry will not only help the common man, but also it will help the civil aviation industry as a whole. So this is what the UDAN scheme is mainly about. So this is a regional connectivity scheme mainly to reduce the airfares in the country. Our next article is talking about new guidelines released by the PFRDA. So what is this PFRDA? It stands for Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority. It stands for Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority. The Union government way back in the year 1999 has set up this Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority, wherein this authority will mainly regulate and develop or promote the pension fund sector in the country. And yesterday it has stated that pension fund managers who manages professionally a large amount of pension funds in the country can utilize this amount to invest it in the stocks, initial public offerings, and in other security markets as well. These are the new guidelines released by this Pension Fund Regulatory and Development Authority. Our next article is stating that the Supreme Court has struck down some provisions relating to the 97th Constitutional Amendment Act. In the year 2011, Indian Parliament has modified the Indian Constitution for the 97th time. This is termed as the 97th Constitutional Amendment Act, wherein Indian Parliament has made some laws relating to the cooperative sector, and kept some cooperative sector related provisions in the Constitution. So these provisions the Parliament has come up in the 97th Constitutional Amendment Act were struck down. We'll see why it has been struck down. Supreme Court has stated that cooperative sector comes under the state list subject, So as it is coming under the state list subject, only state legislative assemblies can make laws on these subjects. For example, we have subjects such as police, health. These are also state list subject. So only state governments and state legislative assemblies can make laws on these subjects. Similarly, as cooperative sector is coming under the state list subject under the Indian Constitution, only state legislatures of respective states can make laws, and Parliament is not empowered to make a law on this subject. So Supreme Court has struck down some provisions of this 97th Constitutional Amendment Act dealing with cooperative sectors. Our next article is talking about Zero survey conducted by the ICMR. So what is this ICMR? ICMR stands for Indian Council for Medical Research. It stands for Indian Council of Medical Research. And yesterday it has released its fourth Sero survey, wherein it has stated that 75% of the Indians, 75% of Indians have COVID-19 related antibodies. COVID-19 related antibodies. So what does this mean? It means that 75% of the individuals have already been attacked by COVID-19 in some form, but they might or they might not know about it. And as they were attacked by COVID-19, their body has produced antibodies so as to fight COVID-19. So it is 75% in the fourth Sero survey. Our next article is talking about Pegasus. So what is Pegasus that we have been seeing in the last few days? Pegasus is a spyware. It is a spyware. There is a company in Israel named as NSO Group. This NSO Group company of Israel has developed this spyware, wherein an attacker can take control and take access of the targeted person's mobile phone by just giving a WhatsApp missed call. So through this WhatsApp missed call, this attacker will try to send this Pegasus spyware into the targeted person's phone, and after this Pegasus spyware is installed in this targeted person's phone, the attacker can take or can view all the data that is available in this targeted person's phone. And it is stated that individuals in more than 50 countries worldwide have been infected with this spyware named as Pegasus. Even in India, many individuals in the politics and in the ex-government agencies have claimed that their mobiles have been infected by this Pegasus spyware. Our next article is talking about a grouping named as the China South Asian Countries Emergency Supply Reserve and Poverty Alleviation and Cooperative Development. So there is a grouping titled as China South Asian Countries Emergency Supplies Reserve and Poverty Alleviation and Cooperative Development. This grouping was launched just a few weeks back. What we need to understand is that this grouping has not included India. It has not included India, Maldives and Bhutan, whereas this group included countries such as Afghanistan, China, Bangladesh, Nepal, Pakistan and Sri Lanka. So from this you can understand that those countries which are Indian allies have not been added into this China South Asia new grouping. But Bangladesh Foreign Minister have stated that it is not a minus India group, that is, we have not deliberately not included India, and they have stated that if India wants to join this group, it is open to them. Our next article is talking about the new president of Peru. It is stated that Mr. Pedro Castillo has been declared as the president of Peru. We'll just see where Peru is. Peru is a country in the South American continent. The capital of Peru is Lima. Its capital is Lima. Next, we'll start with the practice MCQs. First question is, which Indian pharmaceutical firm has developed world's first ever DNA-based COVID-19 vaccine? Next, we'll start with practice MCQs. Our first question, which Indian pharmaceutical firm has developed world's first ever DNA-based COVID-19 vaccine? Is it Zydus Cadila, is it Serum Institute of India, or is it Biological E, or is it none of the above? The answer is A. It is Zydus Cadila. It is pending an approval by the Indian government. Next question is talking about the Inequality Report 2021. Who has published this Inequality Report 2021? Is it World Bank? Is it World Economic Forum? Is it Oxfam? Or is it Indian Council for Medical Research? The answer is C. It is Oxfam. Next question. According to the fourth ICMR Sero survey, what percentage of Indians have antibodies relating to the COVID-19? Is it 30%? Is it 50%? Is it 75%? Or is it 90%? The answer is C, 75%. And with this, we have come to the end of this session. inform about Addod's initiative to your other aspirant friends. You can visit Addod's website to attempt more mock tests based on current affairs videos. Thank you for watching.
Addod Solutions. Add-on Desires.